Hi everyone! Thank you so much for watching my video. I am saying this in advance and then I'm going to say it again at the end because this video is so special to me. This whole concept of veganism is really important and I am trying my best to spread it out there, get people knowing about it because it is really important. So, what is veganism? Do you guys know? Do you know? Ask yourself a second. What is it? I'll tell you. It is when people don't eat any animal products whatsoever. Other people, they don't buy anything, so it's not just food. So any clothes, bags, shoes, makeup, anything that has an animal involved, then it's a no. It's a big fat no. So it is different than vegetarian, and people can be like, oh, why don't you just be vegetarian? Well, no, because this whole thing, being vegan, goes into three main big whole issues around the world, and I'm going to timestamp each issue. So first one is how it affects pollution, second one is how it affects animals, and thirdly is how it affects your health. Yeah, all these things are major components of what we eat. It's just, you never think about it, you're going out with your friends and then you go to McDonald's and then you eat a burger and then you're like, I'll feel fine. What? I don't realize that causes major pollution, a huge animal suffering, and I'm probably gonna cause you major diseases. So you never think about that when you're out with friends, right? Yeah, well you should, because I do now, and it's changed my life. Yeah, so I'm gonna timestamp these three issues if you don't want to listen to everything, even though I recommend you do. But if you don't want to, so I'm gonna timestamp the pollution part here, and then the animal part here, and then the health part down here. Okay. A little disclaimer, I am not a doctor, nutritionist, or nurse. I'm not really qualified medically to give you any nutritional advice, and I really hate that everyone has to put a disclaimer at the beginning of their videos just to make sure that nobody goes all on them and why are you telling me what to do? And I'm not. And I'm just advising you to help yourself, to help a few animals, and most importantly to help our earth, because the earth is dying. We need to help it. So I hope you continue watching and maybe learn something. Let's begin with pollution. Now, we know that pollution is basically what? What do you guys know? You know that it's just, CO2, too much CO2 from factories, cars, fossil fuels, and that's about it. But has anyone ever told you that what you eat is also pollution? And you might have heard that, people may have said it, which I highly doubt, and then you're like, okay, but why? How and why? That is what I've strived to know and understand and wanted to know deeply, because it's really mind-boggling. It's just food, man. How? Okay, so let me kind of try to break it down for you. Basically what happens is there are too many people on Earth right now, so we need to feed them all. So what do? We get a bunch of livestock. So many cows, chickens, overfish. Some other countries have pork, all that kind of stuff. So you overcrowd all of these animals into a small, tiny little factory, and all this tiny farming thing is going to be in the next part about the animal issues. But let's talk about the pollution. So when you get a bunch of these animals and now you want to fatten them up to make more meat for people to eat, so you're gonna feed them a lot. Over farming like this and making so many crops makes the cows eat much more, and now the cows burp and then they make something else, number two. And all of this burping and number twoing is gonna go into the atmosphere. Now what is this gonna be? So it's gonna be into a gas. It's gonna be a gas. So carbon and methane. Now carbon dioxide is probably what you've learned about or what you've known about is what's causing pollution. So it's just what? Are we gonna stop breathing? That's what's gonna make it? Oh, we're just gonna plant another tree and that's gonna save the environment. Well, no. Also, the concept about planting trees, it's gonna take decades for them to grow to a sufficient size that they can actually take in all the carbon that we're emitting and then fix the whole world, but that's gonna take forever. So planting trees isn't always like, oh, I'm just gonna, pay $1 and plant a tree and life's gonna go on forever. So, now, methane. What's methane? Methane is a gas that these animals produce from burping, number twoing, and all that. So, they do that a lot when they eat that much. So they're doing all of this, and then the methane goes into the environment. Methane, carbon, and nitrous oxide, which is something else. These are all greenhouse gases. You've probably heard of this. These are gases that trap heat in the atmosphere so they can go out of the atmosphere, which means they stay in, and these then keep the earth from cooling down. And that's when you've probably heard of global warming. Global warming is where we're getting longer summers. Woohoo! No, not woohoo. And don't get me wrong, I love summer, you guys. Summer's my favorite, but not when it's coming to the expense of life and the planet. So, when there's a whole lot of methane, which there is, so there's about more than 1 billion of these animals in this sector, which means they all do the stuff that gets methane into the environment, and then methane is much more efficient at trapping heat, which means it lets the heat stay in the atmosphere of Earth and it can escape, so therefore it creates a warmer Earth. And then when Earth is warmer, the polar ice caps, the top and the bottom of Earth, then melt. And all of this water, which is most of Earth's fresh water, goes into the oceans and then floods these oceans, so it makes them much bigger. Then coastal countries, coastal cities, all these places that you love to go in the summertime and have a summer vacation on, eventually they're gonna flood. Yeah, that took a real dark turn. So, all of this is due to eating meat. Can you believe it? That's just sad. That is just sad when you think about it. All I'm just eating is a freaking burger, man. I didn't mean for all this to happen, but it is. And that's why people are vegans. Well, one of the reasons. There are 3. So yeah. That's basically what's happening. Now livestock and all what they're doing from here and there is accounting for about 51% of all greenhouse gases worldwide. So a little more than half. And now, animals also, when they eat, they're gonna need water, right? So animals like cows need water to mix their food. They need water to drink, and they need water to water the crops that they eat from, and then they mix with the water, and then the water. It's a whole big loopy, tangled cycle. So, also, you should know that 15,500 liters of water goes into 1 kilogram of beef. 15,500. Well, on the other hand, for something like tomatoes, it only takes 180 liters of water to make 1 kilogram of tomatoes. So, Like, I think we can go for tomatoes. So why is that important? Well, we drink water too. So, animals will still exist. Now, this is a whole big thing that people say. Well, if I stop eating animals, well, they're still gonna be alive, right? Or are we just gonna kill them all and then have no animals? Well, if they're not intensively bred like they are now, if farmers don't need to get like billions and billions of animals each year just to meet the demand of people that need this much food, then there are gonna be less farms, less animals that need all this food. They're gonna require less water, for example, because they don't need to eat this much to be this fat, to make this much meat and all of that. So all of that is what contributes to this pollution. Now, if we're talking about water, I just want to throw out there a nice little sad fact that 2.4 billion people on this earth do not have access to fresh water to drink. Like, think about that and cry about that for a second. So, we're out here wasting 15,500 liters of water on this kilogram of beef. And on the other side of the world, 2.4 billion people don't have access to clean water. And we're just wasting it. Just for a burger. I think we can sacrifice that just to have people to drink, I don't know. That just rattles me up, man. So, the Amazon. Now, the Amazon is a beautiful, beautiful rainforest that most of you will know in Brazil. Has a lush, lavish trees and environment, and it's beautiful and everything. And people have said that the Amazon is the Earth's lungs because it has so many trees that it can take the carbon dioxide and then make more oxygen, which makes the Earth colder or like less hot. Okay? So, due to all this intensive breeding of cattle and all this animal agriculture, people have destructed 91% of the Amazon. 91. There's only 9% left unharmed, and that's just for now. And people have also been telling me that, fish aren't that important, or fish are just dumb, or whatever. But that's not really true. Now, in the next section, I will say a little thing about how fish are not dumb, but in this part, I'm going to say something about how scientists actually expect to have fishless oceans by 2048 due to overfishing, pollution, and climate change. So why would overfishing or something like that cause the oceans to have no fish? When you remove so many of a population of fish, then their predators like sharks or whales or whatever won't have anything to eat. So then these die. And these little fish eat the little microorganisms on the seafloor. So then things like seaweed or corals or all these things can't then grow. So then everything collapses. That's something everyone has to understand. When you remove one animal out of the equation, it causes the entire area around them to collapse. You don't think that when you remove a predator, then everything underneath it's gonna survive. No, if you remove an apex predator, which is like things like, wolves, I think, lions, all these kinds of things, then things like deer, antelopes, whatever, then they overgrow. They eat too much grass, they eat too much vegetation off of the floor. So then trees and fruits and all these things can't grow because they're getting eaten too fast. So there are no things left for us to eat. So that's why all of this is all tied up, and I seem very annoyed right now because people don't know this. And I have to admit, last year, the beginning of last year, like this time last year, I didn't know about this either. I had no idea because they don't teach you this. You know that what we eat and all this pollution we're causing has actually been found that is the reason why extreme weather conditions have been happening all over the world. Things like hurricanes, floods, the wildfires that happened on Australia last year, all those big things, all of that is another cause of pollution that we're doing from the food that we eat. Now, let's go to the animal cruelty part. Now, it is estimated that about each vegan saves 30 animals each year. Why is that good? Why is that a good thing? If you are a person that believes animals are supposed to be eaten or animals are for our benefit, at a certain point in time, that would have been correct and the only statement. No one would have had anything else to say, and that would have been right. But now, in the way people are treating these animals and farming these animals, that is no longer the way of life or the way we should be, encouraging. Because intensively breeding them, not only does it cause pollution, but it also causes them to suffer. So we put all of these thousands and billions of animals into these little tiny farms, and I'm going to link here or here, I don't remember, definitely in the description, but like a side, it's gonna pop up about now. Earthling Ed's videos. He is a YouTuber that is vegan. He cares so much about this. He cares so much about animals, and he's going to show you, if you just click up somewhere, he's going to show how animals are treated in this sector, and it's awful. It is awful. Like, I guarantee you, if you watch one of these videos, you're going to turn vegan for a second. It's over. So all of these animals are suffering. They're put into these tiny, tiny warehouses, and here it says nearly all of the animals raised for food in America spend all their lives in factory farms. They're mutilated without the use of painkillers, deprived of everything that is natural and important to them. They won't be permitted to see the sun or breathe fresh air until the day when they are forced onto trucks bound for the slaughterhouse. On the killing floor, many animals are completely conscious and struggling to escape while their throats are cut, and some are still conscious while they're... I don't even know how to say this word. In my religion, it's not supposed to happen. In Islam, God actually told us to respect all animals, to care for them, to treat them nicely even when you're killing them, to take one away from the others so that the others don't feel scared that they're about to die, and to do a nice swift kill so that they don't feel any pain. Lots of people will have different opinions about how to kill an animal, or if it's humane, and killing anything is not humane. That is not my area. I don't want to go into that. I have nothing to say about that. And to just give you an example about how these animals are actually very intelligent and actually have so many feelings, is that at Cambridge University actually did a study on cows and showed when they actually solved a problem, these cows would have, their heartbeat it went up, their brainwaves showed their excitement, some actually jumped up, and it was beautiful. They actually showed that they were happy to get something right. And other scientists showed that pigs actually have the cognitive skills of a 3-year-old child. Imagine a toddler and a pig having the same mental intelligence. That shows you that they are super intelligent. They're not just stupid little food items walking around. And another thing done on chickens showed that they develop friendships, they go through social hierarchies, they recognize each other, develop pecking order, have cultural knowledge that's actually been passed down through generations. And fish have social intelligence. They pursue strategies of manipulation. They go through punishment, reconciliation, and they exhibit stable cultural traditions. They know how to hunt for their food. They think about it. They plan it. And it just shows you that when you think of your pet, like your dog, your cat, your whatever, and you say, oh, they're so brilliant, they know everything. And then these same types of animals, but we eat them, they have the same intelligence that your pet does. They have the same feelings, the same everything that your pet does. So what qualifies you to mistreat these food animals, but treat your pets with such niceness and kindness and give them such respect? I don't know, you gotta ask yourself that. Did you know that these little organisms like oysters, mussels, and all these sort of things have actually been shown to filter the ocean water, rivers, lakes, all these bodies of water? I'll actually put a link up here of a video showing you mussels filtering a body of water, actually making it clearer, getting rid of all those microbes and any bacteria and anything. Actually, they make the water clearer, healthier, better for all the other fish and things to live in. So they're actually pretty significant. Let's talk about health, baby. Let's talk about, okay, enough joking around. Let's get serious. Health. A big part of why I am doing this, of why veganism is important to us as humans, as people who want to continue living and not dying at early ages. Why is health a part of this? I mean, what? Am I gonna just explain how eating fat of an animal is bad for you? Everyone knows that. No, it's not just that. Farmers are giving these animals antibiotics every day, or almost every day. They're filling them up with hormones and things to make them either conceive more regularly, get their babies all healthy so they can produce more milk of their cows, so they can lay more eggs of their chickens, and antibiotics. Now, did you know that 80% of antibiotics go to animals and not people? Humans take only 20% of those antibiotics that pharmaceutical companies make. Now, why do they give them antibiotics? Are they that sick? It's because of those environments that I talked about. Those crowded, harsh, horrible environments that they're raised in. When they can't go out in the farm, smell fresh air, get some sunlight. They are in these horrible contained little warehouses. And they are stuck all together. They're confined. They can't breathe well. And so they contract diseases from each other. Or another major reason why they're getting fed all of these antibiotics is to fatten them up. Antibiotics get them all fat so they can have more meat, so they can provide more meat for consumers, or just so they can live another day, to get them through another day, so they can go to the slaughterhouses so they can be killed and give consumers the meat that they so eagerly demand. Something like COVID, and you know this, it has been told to you that it started in a wet market. Now, a wet market is where they sell wild animals as well as farm animals for people to consume. Now, these animals, if you've seen the way those markets look, it looks terrible. It looks so unhygienic. It is so understandable why this disease started from there. Those horrible conditions, along with all these animals that are filled with antibiotics, filled with hormones, and then all these conditions, and people can breathe in all those diseases that these animals have carried along with them from the factories, and that in other ways. And like, I'm not a scientist, you guys, I don't know the exact details of any of this, so all of that is what happened to cause this disease to happen. Also, why this contributes to our health, why animals being farmed this way contributes to our health. It has been found and studied, and I have actually read some of these studies, that eating all of these animals have actually found to cause heart disease. It is found to cause some forms of cancer, and most surprisingly, it is found to cause diabetes. But a little on the plus side about health and going on a plant-based diet, it has been proven that going on a plant-based diet can actually burn calories 16% faster than a meat eater. So that's a plus, that's good, yay! But on all the other sides, intensively breeding these animals is detrimental for our health, for their health. Most diseases now have been caused and cannot be cured due to antibiotic resistance. And now modern medicine is facing a real big problem that they can't really help you anymore in some cases. Or in the future, they might not be able to help you at all. Also, another channel based on like most of the stuff I saw was about health and like kind of like medical things about veganism is Plant-Based News. I'm also gonna link them down below. I'm gonna put them one of the sides. You know me, I always forget. I will also put pictures of meals that I've made, and they look freaking delicious, and I think everyone should look at them and in bewilderment and just be shocked that this is vegan. So yeah, here they are somewhere. So yeah, you just gotta see and be grateful for how much the earth is actually helping you, helping all of us have a comfortable life, and we have to give back. Whether that's by cleaning the oceans, reducing your plastic use, becoming vegan, helping any kind of animal, being a conservationist, anything. Just try to help the earth how it's helped you. And thank you for watching. I am really, really thankful you've been with me all this time. If you have, that's awesome. And if you have, put your weirdest emoji in the comments. Then I'll know you've stuck by me and you've listened to all my babbling. And I hope you try it. There are a lot of things like a 30-day challenge or a 22-day challenge of becoming vegan. There's so many awesome recipes, and if you guys want me to say anything about some recipes, I can maybe share some. That's something someone's interested about. That would be awesome. And thank you so much for watching again. I'll see you soon.